Hello, thanks for joining us again on the channel. Okay, yes, we've reviewed a lot of these. Too many, probably. But trust me, this one stands out. It caught me off guard, in a good way. Before we get started, there's a special discount if you're interested. The link is in the description and also in the top comment. Now, let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details.
Starting things off, our first reviewer gives us their perspective.
This reviewer was on a mission to find the perfect electric bike for their recently retired mother. After years of hard work, she needed something comfortable and easy to handle for a 51 rider. The list of requirements was long: a strong motor for hills, a comfortable ride with good suspension, fat tires for stability, and a large, removable battery. Finding a model that met all these criteria proved difficult, but this folding electric bicycle seemed to check every box. Although it was listed for riders slightly taller, our reviewer took a chance, and it ended up being a perfect fit for their mother, who could get on and off with ease. Out of the box, the build quality felt impressive and solid, and assembly was surprisingly straightforward since most of the tricky parts were already put together. On the road, the ride is incredibly smooth, thanks to both front and rear suspension that soaks up bumps effectively. The powerful motor was a real highlight, providing a significant boost that made hills feel effortless. The acceleration is quick and zippy, which might take a first-time rider a moment to get used to, but it ultimately provides a lot of confidence on inclines. Shifting through the gears is simple, and the large, easy-to-read display on the handlebar provides all the necessary information at a glance. However, the experience wasn't without a few quirks. This client noted that the machine is quite heavy, which could be a challenge for some to carry, even when folded. The biggest frustration came from the design of the ignition. The key must be inserted in an awkward spot underneath the frame and has to remain there for the bike to work, which felt like a significant oversight. Removing the battery also requires folding the frame, adding an extra step to the charging process. Despite these minor annoyances, the most important thing is that the reviewer's mother absolutely loves her new ride. It's a joyful, comfortable, and capable machine that has proven to be a solid choice.
Awesome. Let's hear what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer purchased this folding electric bike shortly after buying a similar model from another brand, which gave them a great opportunity for a side-by-side comparison. Overall, this particular electric bike became the clear favorite, even though the other model had some specific advantages. For instance, the competitor's bike with its slightly wider tires handled soft sand much better, powering through spots where this bike would occasionally need to be pushed. However, our reviewer found that this fat tire bike excelled in almost every other area. The acceleration feels much quicker because the motor engages the moment you start pedaling, unlike the other bike which had a noticeable delay. The dual suspension is simply put amazing. It makes rides over railroad tracks, rough trails, and rocky terrain incredibly smooth, a night and day difference compared to the other model that relied solely on its tires for cushioning. Durability was another huge win. After riding for several hundred miles over a summer, this bike suffered 0 flat tires, thanks to a protective barrier in the tires that stopped thorns from puncturing the tube. The other bike, ridden on the exact same paths, got 3 flats. Of course, it's not perfect. Our client was disappointed to find the actual top speed was a few miles per hour lower than what was initially advertised, a discrepancy caused by an incorrect setting in the onboard computer which they were able to fix. The bike also requires a bit of tinkering. Bolts need to be checked, and a pedal screw has a habit of loosening. The brakes also need frequent, though easy, adjustment due to the bike's weight. Still, the positives far outweigh these negatives, to the point that this client wishes they had just bought 2 of this model from the start.
Fantastic. Now, let's see what insights our next reviewer has to offer.
This reviewer embarked on a quest for a more portable electric bike after having a decent experience with a previous model from the same manufacturer. Spending weeks researching various 20-inch folding electric bikes, our reviewer noted a striking similarity in frames across many different brands, suggesting a common manufacturing base. Ultimately, this specific folding electric bike stood out as a compelling choice, especially given its perceived value and the inclusion of a 2-year warranty, a reassuring factor for a folding frame that could endure significant stress. Assembly was straightforward, taking only about half an hour, though attaching the handlebars presented a minor, unusual challenge. On the initial ride, our reviewer noticed the electric bike wasn't reaching its expected speed. A quick check of the LCD controller revealed it was incorrectly set for larger tires. After adjusting this setting, the bike seemed to hit higher speeds, whether using the throttle or pedal assist. The reviewer also promptly added a personal rack and tire sealant, getting about 15 miles in over a couple of days, and noting that the bike generally ran great and held up well. An early minor concern was the noisy folding hinge, which was attributed to the bike being new and likely needing lubrication. However, the speed issue proved to be more persistent. Despite the initial adjustment, our reviewer found that the electric bike rarely achieved its advertised top speed, often topping out a few miles per hour below expectations. The manual's internal settings for the controller also caused some confusion, displaying conflicting information regarding voltage and requiring several attempts to correctly set the tire size. Further concerns arose when the battery showed an unusual drop and then recovery in charge within a short ride. Our reviewer reached out to support, suspecting a potentially faulty controller. The company addressed the speed discrepancy by offering a credit, which T.
And that's a wrap. If this video was helpful, like and subscribe. Got questions? Let's chat in the comments. See you soon.